Well, we're up here on another trapping run in central Queensland. We went out last night and put the first 6 traps in. I'm just cruising a few tracks here now, looking at cattle pads. And I see there's a dog track right here. So we'll put a couple of traps in this next gully where it pinches in. And let's get this show on the road. For a good place here where we can trap, but the cattle and the little calves won't get in there and wreck the trap. What do you reckon, skunk? We've got water. A little bit of water over there, bloke. What are you staring at, skunk? What are you staring at? I just set 2 traps, one here underneath this, what it is, it just looks like a balar tree on the side of the bank, hopefully out of the road of the cattle. And the other one over here behind the vehicle on the base of that big tree. What do you reckon about them, skunk? Dog food. Is that what that was, skunk, eh? Dog food. We just pulled up here as we approach this little sandy gully, and the skunk is sticking his nose up in the air and really sniffing. So I'm thinking he's either got pigs that have crossed through here during the night, or he's sniffing a dingo. So we're going to have a look, skunk. Come on, let's go have a look. He's really scenting. What do you got, boy? Oh, yeah. His dog tracks right there. What have you got, skunk? Hunt him up. Hunt him up, skunk. Usually, if you come around here when he shows a lot of interest like this, you'll find scat. That looks like a marking spot. Maybe they've been marking on that rock there. Yep. Yeah, but there's also been a sign of pigs there. So that's what he's got too. Right all. You've always got to be mindful of how you're leaving your scent on the ground. But the beauty of a place like this is that the dogs are used to people coming around the bore and checking the trough, driving through here. So if you don't leave too much scent, they just think it's the landowner just going about his or her normal duty. So what I'm going to do here is just put a simple wire loop straight onto the end of this dead tree, and I'll just run it down, and it'll look just like a piece of number 8 wire out of a fence. It's not going to really cause any stress at all to these animals. And I'll put some of these sticks that are lying here up in a little bit of a formation, so that hopefully it'll stop the calves from coming in here. And seeing the weather's a little bit cooler, I'm hoping there's no big goannas kicking around that'll wreck a food bait. And I might actually put something in here like a bit of deer gland, a bit of deer tail. I use that quite often. A bit of the gland there because it's a pungent sort of smell comes out of it when it's starting to decay. And I'll try something that's a little bit different to pull that animal into this pile of logs if I can. And yeah, try and get him to put his foot on the pan. So let's see how we go. Yeah, just a deer tail. That's pretty smelly, and the wind's blowing sort of from the southeasterly direction now, so I reckon it'll blow back across the road. I've got a trap up there, and a trap further up on the other side. And then I'll put a trap down here on that side. So Hopefully the pigs won't wreck it. I've got the long distance scent far enough away that hopefully the pigs will just snort around here, and that one's set on a bit of scat, so hopefully they won't go in on the dog scat and sniff it. And this is what you've got to contend with around a lot of the good trapping areas. Hey girls, looking good. There's not many bobby calves here, there's a few though, and yeah, there's quite a few dog tracks on the road back there, so we'll actually set traps on the way back. I just wanted to sort of see what was ahead of us here now. So that's the name of the game. Get in here and find a way to get your traps in the ground where the wild dogs are, where they're coming down to have a go at the calves or just sniff around the cattle. And you've got to be able to get your traps in and keep them in. It's no use just putting them in and having the cattle wrecking them, 10 minutes later on. That's just all that's doing is educating the dogs. So if you can find a way of getting your traps in and keeping them in, keeping the cattle off them, and allowing the wild dogs to come in and get caught, then you're in business. You've also got to watch out for the goannas and the wild pigs and all the other things that might set your traps off. So, that's the name of the game. Now we've got a good dog sign here on the road. I reckon at least 3 dogs, maybe 4, come through here. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and utilise this cattle fence here and use a couple of drags, use the gully, use a couple of fallen trees, because not as many cattle on that side of the fence, so we've got a good chance of having the dogs use this. There's so much long grass here. I think the dogs are using this good clear track to get down to the water, so it's easy. Yeah, I think they'll converge in here off some of these cattle pads, and they're using this little track here a lot. So we'll try and use the local geography to give us the edge to catch these dogs. First one set, a little bit of rag on the fence with a soaked in Lucy pea. Quite often I'll have a dog come along and take the marker off the fence. If something's happened, like if a cattle beast has come and stood on the trap and wrecked it, the wild dog will come along and strip that towel off the fence. So there's no drama with the colour. I think it helps because it's a visual attractant, and it's also got the scent. So that'll waft through across the road if any dog's coming this way. Okay, I'm going to put this one here up on top of this little bank. It's just got this little out-jutting bank here beside the road, so that'll give me a scent coming across one way, and if the wind changes back to the way it is now, it'll put a wind across this way. The cattle are coming pretty much around here, down the bottom. They don't seem to have worked up the top there, so I've got a little area that's probably a safe zone up the top there, that if I can get the food-based lure on that tree, the chances are probably up high that it'll put the scent across the road here, good. But also if a dog comes around to try and get up to get it, I'll try and catch it in a back foot on this one here, and I'll anchor it down with this wire strop onto one of the roots here, so if it does get caught, it'll be down here on the road. Yeah, very simple sets, nothing fancy at all, just getting them in the right place and blending them in on the surroundings, and let's see what happens. Well, here we are on day 2, coming up around the back country and just picking our way down through some of the spots, looking for sign. That's a terrible part about this job. You're allowed to drive along eating macadamia nuts and four-wheel driving your way through some magnificent country, looking for wild pigs and dingoes and scrub bulls. Terrible job. I've just put 2 more traps in here. I think that's about 7 or 8 I've got in this morning. Brings us up to about 40 traps. I'm in no rush to put traps in the wrong place. So I want to see that there's some activity where animals are using the tracks or they're coming to the water holes. If I don't see that, well then, you know, sometimes it's best just to wait and move around, try and work out what your dogs are doing. So we'll go on ahead here now and see what else we can find. A mob of pigs stuck into the gully here, so I'll get these dogs off. Skunk. Sit, skunk. Dash. There they go. Piggy. Straight past the vehicle. Good dogs. Good dogs. Off. Dash off. Good dogs. Good dogs. Good dogs. Let's got him. 2 boars in quick succession with the 22. 22 and 3 border collies. What more can you ask for? Two young boars down out of a mob of about 20 pigs. Been eating a dead calf on the side of the road. This might explain where some of the wild dogs that we're chasing have gone to. Been a calf dead right under my nose here, out near some molasses trough. So we'll get some. We'll use this pig as a bait, and yeah, go from there. If you're interested in what you're seeing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook, hit the notification bell, and we'll keep getting out there chasing dogs and pigs and bulls and deer and everything else we can do. The team and I. Good on you, dogs. Good on you.